Hey guys, it's Monk52 here. Today we're covering the Odin. Now, I usually go over the modules straight away, but I'm gonna break my own tradition here and just swap out the commander to auto here to take a look and show you the health pool. Now, Odin's a brawler battleship, and you only have 62,000 health, 63,000 health. Really low health pool actually. This is a big disadvantage for Odin. This is one of its main, balancing features, shall I say. And you can see everything at tier 7 is really low. The only thing it matches up to is a Maggie and Lenin, but Lenin is extremely well armoured, so it kind of counteracts it. Same with the Roma as well, extremely well armoured. But other ships like the Vanguard 71, Iowa 72, Vladivostok 73, 74, you know, Massa 66. It's pretty low. This may not seem like much, but like 8k difference is quite a big difference. You also get 305mm guns, so really effectively you're in the battleship realm, but you're not there. You're in Super Cooper, you're in Alaska's caliber gun, but you don't have Alaska penetration. You're nowhere near that. You're a German ship after all. Your overmatch capability is 20mm of armor, so again, if you're seeing cruisers at your tier, they most have the 25mm bow, so you actually need to hit the broadsides in order to effectively damage them with AP or the superstructures. You also have 38mm of pen for your 150 secondaries. This is exclusive only to the Odin, as the other ones are usually 1/5 pen or 1/6 depending on the situation on the caliber. The 105s get 1/5. You also get torpedoes as well, but the angles are a little bit wonky, as we will show you in game. The A guns are nothing really pretty to look at. Turning is pretty bad rudder shift, definitely worth investing in the rudder module. And the armor we'll look at after we get back onto the modules. Anyways, back onto the modules. I know it's a little bit detour, but it was well worth it. Aiming systems is really good. You could run a secondary battery. Again, I prefer the extra accuracy and a bit of torpedo launch speed as well. Steering gears, I highly recommend. Again, you could run any three, but I really recommend steering gears. It's definitely a better option. Target position, we're not going to talk about that. And main battery mod is usually the go-to. Definitely, you don't want to spec into torpedo mod or secondaries. Just go for the main battery mod. The main gun is for a reason. So yeah, Odin's got a 17-second reload. These guns, they're pretty darn punchy, and again, it's like a Sharn horse. You use it, you switch ammo types all the time. Armor is incredibly good. As you can see, even the belt, even the main belt, which is 30, the bow and stern 32, has an icebreaker, 50mm icebreaker. The rear is incredibly good, as you can see. So angling will pay off dividends even against the Yamato. The only thing that's really damageable is that superstructure there. In terms of the Citadel, this turtleback is not as good as the other Germans. You will actually eat some Citadels if you turn too sharply or your boat's too far out of the water. As you can see, that's Citadel. Relatively a little bit below the waterline, but a little bit on the waterline. If you remove that, you put the Citadel armor on, you can see the actual coverage over the Citadel is not as big as other ships would be. So the Citadel can be broken as well. So be aware of that and just be careful with that. Close range, long range, you will be Citadeled and it will hurt. But yeah, that's the Odin for you. Be aware that these guns are only 305mm. They are German, they're quite punchy. And for the commander build here, I run Mr. Height because he gives you increased your ship hit points, which is really useful. And he is one of the best commanders for the event, for the Germans. Flammable Cannoneer Porcupine, marksmanship instead of firefighter, and mass mechanic with the fire. And then Franz on Hipper, and then Ashley Scharnhorst if you have her. Again, this is the premium commander, so let's switch over to a real one. Auto Celiacs is what I go for. You go for a good day's work, you go for Porcupine, you go for Firefighter, you go for Mass Mechanic, and you go for Wilter Build. You go for Franz on Hipper, and here's the kicker, you go for William Sims. You definitely want that additional health, especially for brawling and just lasting. It really does help you out quite a bit. So if you can run William Sims on auto, that's the perfect option as well. May notice something there. We've also got a 5km sonar with 3.5 detectability of torpedoes as well. So you've also got sonar and you've also got torpedoes. So you're the mix between the Bismarck and the tirptiz, but you don't have the health pool. You're also not 1 knot slower. It's something to note as well, so you're not as fast as they are. That 1 knot does make a difference. You'll see that. It's definitely worth it. So yeah, as you see, the angle is not as good. It's more rear facing angles. Okay, so we're going to torpedo the Jean Bart for good luck, because that's just typical practice. It does work. Yeah, because he's just moving stationary, not moving at all. A little bit fair if he moved into Jean Bart, be nice. But yeah, as you saw, we'll see more of the torpedo angles later, but the torpedo angles are more rear facing, so you really don't have the advantage the Tirpitz has, but firing them without really giving too much angle away. You have to give almost full broadside to fire them from the front. But these guns, 305mm guns, not quite the same penetration as in Alaska, nowhere near that, and you don't have the same penetration angles, so you need to be careful about what you shoot at. But what you do shoot at, you have that Scharnhorst ability of very likely to be citadeling things. In terms of matchmaking for this game, if you see all the cruisers, not a single destroyer, absolutely glorious matchmaking for the Odin. The unfortunate part is I've managed to get myself in a little bit of an annoying position. Everything is angled towards me, and even a tier 6 cruiser can angle against me if I'm careful. I'm going to fire what I can though, maybe, but I want to try and get the right shot. So I kind of shoot at a Cleveland here, and this is kind of a bad play in my part. I kind of probably should have shot the Boise or the York, but Cleveland's the most dangerous threat. The fires is pretty darn horrific. I'm running the fire skill, but for me, I have such bad luck with that skill. It frustrates me to be on no end. I'm also running Cannoneer as well, so you'd think I'd be triple fired a lot more often than I actually am. So we're trying to get ourselves in a good position. You really want to, like, you know, the start of the game for every German brawler is you want to get yourself in a good position, and getting yourself in a good position is not easy. It does take some time. So we're kind of going to separate ourselves and fight these 3 ships, which we can comfortably do. We can fight New Orleans, no problem. At the angles though, that is a bit of a problem, and he's running some sort of agility build or something like that. He did a very good turn, very quick turn. He actually did my whole salvo, so very good. Leon double sets us, never triple sets us of course, and we're going to have to keep our damage control and be careful with it because we're being spammed pretty consistently. I don't want to be left on more than one fire. I'm going to have to be careful about my damage controls here. So we're going to fire at the New Orleans, and we missed completely. So far, really not a good game, to be honest. We're just trying to get ourselves in a good position. So yeah, we're turning the sonar on, put the secondary consume on, because we've got 3 ships to shoot at, and you know, we're putting the sonar on because there's a Tirpitz. I'm within 6 kilometers, so I'm very likely to send torpedoes. As you can see, the guns do perform quite well, but remember, this is a 17-second reload. This is like a really long cruiser reload, you know, and you're doing 12k a pop. It's not exactly, you can do more than that. It's just insane the damage you do. So I'm going for the lower hull here a little bit, aiming up for maybe the chance of the Citadel. Another 5 penetrations. I think we actually saturate his front part of the ship, maybe his bow section. We're still running that sonar, which lasts quite a good amount of time as well. And he's not sending torpedoes. Maybe his torpedoes are broken in this side. I don't know, but if they weren't broken, I would be prepared for that. I'm bow onto the threat, and I'm just backing up as much as I can. We fire some torpedoes on Leon because this Tirpitz might eat those torpedoes, and if he does die, he's not going to spot these torpedoes unless he pushes far right, I believe. Yeah, far right. So we're just going to pester him while bow tanking him, no problem. The only thing he can do really is put some secondaries. The only real damage we've taken is purely from those fires, because as you see, yeah, it was just an absolute murder. Fire torpedoes at Leon, and he does beach himself to avoid them, or just unintentional of course. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it was 200 IQ play, we do not know. Angled heavily against Leon. He actually managed to score a couple of pens or over pens over superstructure. Should have been almost no damage, but that's fine. We fire him relatively broadside. We only get 1 hit. Unfortunate, considering we were running an accuracy build. But yeah, we'll get where we go. Anyway, no one's here for us to not fight this Leon, so we're definitely going to fight the Leon. Leon does have 14-inch guns. They are French indeed, but it's definitely worth giving a little bit of broadside to fire these guns here. If we keep the AP on, I would preferably switch to HE straight away, because an angled Leon is more than enough, more than enough for us, for our shells not to penetrate. So definitely worth switching to HE right now. I think I fired 2 extra salvos. A bit of a misplay on my part, but really, you really want to be switching ammo types as much as possible. I keep thinking he's going to give me broadside, but he's just simply not. Also, I've got the AP loaded for the New Orleans. Indicator said we were okay, and it completely lied to me. You gotta, when you have those when you have those indicators, you need to wait like 2 or 3 seconds for it to actually finish rendering, finish loading in, whether it has an island or not. That's what people make. It's a big mistake, even I make it as well, but I just had a little bit of faith. See, the indicator did not show an island there, obviously, but if it was clear, then you would see second set of torpedoes on a Leon do connect, and he's on almost no health, and someone takes the kill. That's unfortunate, but that's fine. As long as he's dead, what's important. Leon gets finished off there. No citadel at the end, which is very surprising, and we're just going to turn away. Tirptiz did come over there and help him, and we were broadside to him. We were very lucky we didn't get messed up there, and that could have been a different game to be featured completely. Yeah, you really I tried to limit the engagements there, but the Tirptiz did try to support his team a little bit too late, but he did try. And we are not too healthy, surprisingly. We've taken some ship damage, AP, from various battleships, and mostly just fire is what's been doing this. And even with a fire skill, it still procs a lot. We had a double fire situation and everything. And it wouldn't be a monk video without a good beach, wouldn't it? But no, IRSA refused, and we slow down, we avoid it. Tirptiz does eat a torpedo that we fire at him. One is fine, because that caused the floods, and that means he's burned his damage control, so if we do any follow-up stuff, we are right. We gotta be really careful here, because if we pushes in, he could get a good angle on us, so we have to be very careful. So we could not afford to beach in that situation there. So we're gonna push in there. We're just gonna retreat away while we're fully angled, and at this angle, we have the advantage because we can torpedo him comfortably because our angles are really good from this angle, as you can see. So we're just gonna fire there. I don't know if he run into them. He hopefully will. He might not. But we're gonna stop. We're gonna slow down. We're gonna turn hard left to try and get past this island. Because if we want to engage him, we don't have the health advantage. He does, and it's just not a smart brawl to pick. Particularly one who has 15-inch guns rather than 305mm guns. He does slow down. I think he avoids all those torpedoes. We could have fired them behind, and that's probably retrospect. But yeah, we do pepper him a little bit with some overpens, and we pick up the high caliber actually. So we must be doing something right. We did kind of whale on the Leon pretty darn hard, and we also messed up the other Tirptiz. So this Tirptiz here, we're just going to kite towards them. As you saw in the armor scheme, our stern is pretty darn tough as well. So as you can see, minimal damage at all. The only thing it causes is a fire, which we might damage control, to be honest. We might. No? Okay. Don't know what I was thinking letting all these fires burn, but I guess I'm just worried about him torpedoing me, and that could be the real worst of it. Alright, I do burn damage control. A little bit late. Again, God. Looking back at this, I think I make a lot of misplays, but it's a good result, so I think I'll keep it, but still, you know, I'm criticizing my own gameplay here, pretty hardcore, but that's fine. This is an educational channel, so, you know, not everyone's perfect. I'm making plenty of mistakes here. So, we're actually going to reverse here, and we're just going to get close to the Tirptiz. We are actually in a draw situation, even on points and even on ships, so there's no reason to rush them right now. I don't mind taking my time with this because there's 27 seconds to my next heal, and having more health would really help me out, because you said you just lose health quickly with the fire damage, and you could spec an anti-fire build, yeah, but when you're running hide, you kind of want to build with the flammable cannoneer, kind of, you know. You could basically build it for the additional fire chance. That way you set the triple fires, and you know. The fire skill, I don't like it, but it does help for the fire. It's only a little bit, but it does help. So we're just going to reverse here, and we're just going to get a cheeky shot, maybe a cheeky torpedo in on this Tirptiz. I wish I had a better position for this, but this is actually ideal. Kiting people, attacking ships like this from the rear is actually really ideal. We're going to switch to the turret vision here, just so we can get the vision on the guns. We aimed ahead of the Tirptiz because we think he's going to accelerate, and I think he does, which is great. Some decent damage on him, but nothing really that great. Accuracy really seems to be playing it completely. I don't know what he done with his accuracy. It used to be relatively accurate, but I guess it's German. So he does turn away here. We do smack him a little bit too hard there, and the torpedo finishes him off. He does send torpedoes here, and this could be a very bad torpedo hit for me. He does get a one hell of a widespread. I redurned about on damage control beforehand, just so we don't get flooding. And we're already up to 180k. We've picked up some sizable damage this game, and we picked as much as we could, pick the best engagement we can as fast as possible. Again, you want to limit your number of ships you're fighting, really. We used the island in the middle of the map there. Tirptiz did get in, Tirptiz did cause some problems. If he was there, this would have been a completely different gameplay, replay for us, completely. So we're up on points here, and we really don't need to do anything else, but I'm just, we're spotted here by this Cleveland, might as well shoot the Cleveland. Now, as we stated before, Cleveland actually is an armoured target for us, so we need to be careful about what we're shooting. And this is a situation where we switch to HE, simple as that. Now, this Cleveland player is, he's definitely taken a book out of Hipper's, tier 7 Hipper's page here. He's duking, he's diving, he's doing what he can, and yeah, he's doing what he can, but I don't think he predicted that I just keep shooting HE at him. We get a really bad salvo here. We're going to fire some torpedoes anyway here. We can't exactly run away from this Cleveland, so there's no point in not fighting him at this point. But oh, he's the last ship remaining as well. Look, there we go. I would have liked to engage in this engagement, but I've kind of devoted myself already, so I must continue the fight. The closer I get, the more deadly I become. Look at him going here. He's baiting the broadside here. I know he's going to turn away an angle. Doesn't really make a difference here. But I'm just going to keep shooting HE. There's no reason not to. I'd rather not waste the thing. We actually get 2 torpedoes on the poor guy. He's not having fun. I can just damage control that. I'm pretty low on health, but I've got 7k left. Still heavily angled to him. He tries the AP. It's completely ineffective. And there we go. We just mop him up. So yeah, that's the Odin for you. Well, not the best game here, but again, I don't really enjoy the Odin too much personally. I just think the Scharnhorst is much more fun to use. The turrets turn a little bit slow. It's alright. The armor's really good, and if you're looking for a tanky battleship at tier 7, you can go with that, but the health pool is a disadvantage. So we did pick up a Fireproof, a Dreadnought High Caliber. We took up 2,700 base XP. Pretty good game overall. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.